Hey guys, T2 out here. Welcome back to the Titan Preparedness channel. Recently, I did a one night, 20-mile hiking slash bug out adventure. In today's video, I want to go through the mistakes that I made and how I'm going to mitigate those the next time I go out. So the first mistake that I made was not bringing my leukotape. The night before the adventure, I had everything laid out on the floor. I said, well, I need this, I don't need that. I repacked my bag, and the leukotape, I had it, and I left it on my couch. So about 2 miles into my adventure, I could tell that my left foot was starting to blister up. And as soon as it started to blister up, it dawned on me that my leukotape was not in my bag. I got 18 miles left to go, and my feet are starting to blister. Another side effect, I guess you would call it, of not having my leukotape was it affected the way that I walked. Every time I would take a step, it would be more with my heel and the outside of my foot versus, flat-footed. And what that caused was so many attempted rolled ankles. Again, it was subconscious. I wasn't doing it on purpose, but every time I would take a step, my ankle would try to roll. As soon as I got home, I put my freaking leukotape in my bag. Problem solved. Problem number 2 that I experienced was my boot of choice. Understand that it had been raining about the last 5 to 6 days off and on. So in my head, I thought, well, it's wet here, so it's probably going to be wet on the trail. These boots alone weigh somewhere between 5 to 7 pounds. They're not very comfortable to walk in on a normal day. And for some reason I thought, you know what? I'm going to wear them in the woods. Day number 1, I was hiking in some synthetic wool socks. Day 2, I wore 2 pairs of socks. And it did help a little bit. Mile number 9, mile number 10, the effects of wearing 2 pairs of socks were mitigated. I would have been better off in tennis shoes, bedroom slippers, stilettos, I don't know. Anything but this pair of boots. These boots will never be worn again on trail. Problem number 3 that I faced was hydration. For the first 6 miles of my trip, there was 0 water sources. I mentioned how the day prior I was sick. I started the trail already dehydrated. What I should have done is while I was at the Station Cove Falls, essentially chugged both of my 2-liter bottles. Then used my NOC water bag and my Hydro Blue, filled up all 3 liters that I had, and then did the trail with 3 liters instead of 2. When on trail, you should drink about 1 liter of water per mile to mile and a half. I drank 2 liters of water in 6.5 miles, so I was severely dehydrated. So when I came up to a water source, I didn't stay long enough. What I should have done at that water source was filled all of my bottles, drank all of my bottles, and then filled them up again. But instead, I filled up both of my 1-liter bottles and only drank 1 liter from the rollable canteen that I had. Next time, I will stop at a water source beforehand, chug all my water, refill up all my bottles, and then when I get to a water source, do the same thing. Fill it up, drink everything, and fill it up again. The 4th problem that I ran into is my pack. I've been using this Cabela's Elias 60. One of the problems that I ran into was the brain. Instead of sitting at top of the pack, the brain portion would be almost down here. And so I'd be walking with the top of my pack almost at the bottom. The pack is also pretty heavy. So the pack itself weighs about 5 pounds, which doesn't sound like much. You start piling stuff in there, that's 5 pounds that you cannot get rid of no matter what. To mitigate that, I have now upgraded to the Osprey Kestrel 48. This is a 48-liter pack instead of a 60-liter pack, which prevents me from overpacking. It is also a lighter weight pack. It's about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds lighter than that 60-liter pack. Doesn't sound like much, I know, but if you carry 2 pounds, 20 miles in the woods, that's like carrying 4 pounds 1 mile. It really makes a difference having a lighter pack. One of my next problems was my food bag. You are figuring 2 to 2.5 pounds of food per day. Now, I have a 5-day pack, which means I had 10 to 15 pounds just of food for one day. Should have easily went through this, taken a lot of it out. Talking about a food pack brings me to my next point, my calorie intake. So even though I brought 10 to 15 pounds worth of food, I did not eat nearly enough food to make up for the calories that I lost. I ate 4 of the little small Slim Jims on day 1, and then when I got to camp, I had a breakfast skillet Mountain House meal. I burned almost 22 to 2,300 calories just in day 1. Calories that I did eat did not come anywhere to replacing the amount of calories that I burned on day 1. Day 2 was not much better. 2 Pop-Tarts that morning, and 1 and about a half packet of oatmeal. I had 4 more of the little Slim Jims. I was seeing stars. It was dizzy. I don't even know how I made it down the mountain without falling down. So even though I brought so much food, I barely consumed any of it, let alone enough to replace the calories that I had burned. So to mitigate that for next time, obviously, I'm going to eat more. Now, the reason that I didn't consume enough calories brings me to my next point. I was in a rush. I really don't know why. Yes, the rain was coming. Yes, I started later than what I should have. But I still finished the 10 miles in 4.5 hours. So I was really rushing for no reason. I should have taken more breaks. I should have sat down more often. I should have stopped, eat more. The only times that I really stopped was at the watering source, which was 6 miles up, and then at camp. And then on the way back, I stopped once at a watering source and then once at my truck. That was it. Because I was rushing, I obviously didn't consume enough calories. Because I didn't consume enough calories, I was more tired. Because I was more tired, I was making more mistakes. So it's just a snowball effect. So please don't make the same mistakes that I did. If you are going on an adventure like a 20-mile excursion over 2 days, take your time. Take breaks. Drink more water. Consume more calories. Don't wear crappy boots. Alright guys, that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys check out my 20-mile adventure video. And I also hope you head over to the Creek Chicken channel and check out our 26-mile adventure that we did last year. Alright guys, that's all I got. T2 out.